let me tell you guys a story about crossplay and cross progression.
Oh.
Yes.
Let's get right into it. Let's
Okay.
get right into the meat of it.
Okay. I am really loving. We talked about this before. I wasn't sold because I wasn't as knowledgeable about the game, but the Diablo 2 remastered, I am just loving it.
It's a great game.
It's so fun to just relax, lay down on the couch, play it. Anyways, I've had some late nights recently, and I want to play it, but I want to play it in my bed.
That's fair. I mean, every person wants that.
So I come in today and I'm like, Spicy, I'm going to get it on the Nintendo Switch so that I could play it in bed, only to be kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, well, because I bought it. I bought it.
By Spicy. Not by you.
Switch.
You didn't kick me in the nuts, but the news.
Yeah.
You brought me the news.
And then
that did.
Spicy kicked me right in the nuts.
Kicked me in the nuts.
And I said, "No, you're not going to do that."
Yeah.
No.
Spicy, tell us about your experience on why I'm frustrated about the Diablo 2 remastered news to play on my Nintendo Switch.
Well, first of all, I think it's awesome that we have cross progression.
Amen. That's exactly why I wanted to do it. It's like I can lay in bed. I can.
If there's ever going to be a cross, I do prefer progression.
Yes.
Okay, and I like that. So, I purchased this on the Xbox, on the PC, and the Switch because I wanted to play wherever and however I wanted to play this game. So, funny, I haven't played my Switch in a long time, which is fair.
Sure.
Because I have, whatever. So I bought it on the Switch.
I haven't played mine in a long time either. In fact, I charged it the other day. It's charged sitting in my office waiting to be downloaded of the Diablo.
So I was thinking that I could play this around, while I'm waiting for meetings or whatever. And I go to play it, and I cannot play it because I have to get Nintendo Online.
Yes.
So which is funny because it's a single player game.
Well, even the offline part, he can't even load up the game.
Which, granted, I can just buy Nintendo Online.
So all that Diablo 3 was coming back to you?
Yeah. Well,
like,
that's what's so funny. That's why I didn't like
funny.
Diablo 3.
That is
because
funny.
it's a single player game that you have to be online to play. But they're right at the beginning of the loading screen, it has to connect to Battle.net.
Yeah.
And Nintendo wants you to have, Nintendo Online. So I haven't played it on my Switch yet because
people are probably watching this and saying, "Well, that's ironic because the Xbox used to have Xbox Live." You're right. I just always had Xbox Live, so it was never an issue. I don't have Nintendo Live,
Well,
so it's an issue.
So it's an issue.
Well, and see, that's what's so funny. I used to have Nintendo Online, but I haven't played an online game. I think I got that for
Tetris.
Oh yeah, Tetris 99.
Yeah, Tetris 99.
What a
And it's
solid
been
game.
so long since I've needed to play an online game on my Switch because that's like my mobile game to be.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to be online with that device. And granted, I could just buy it, I guess.
No,
but I don't want it.
So I'm not buying it. I'm using cloud. I'm going to play this in the cloud, baby. That's what I'm moving to. I'm going to Xcloud. We're going to try it out.
I think it's so funny that
I might even just buy an
Is it on the X?
I don't want to give money for that $20 online thing, so I'm going to buy an $800 iPad. Yeah, that's how pissed I am.
Yeah, I know. And it was so depressing when I wanted to play Diablo on my Switch, and I just can't do it.
You want to know what the Switch has?
It's like, oh.
That's it has just this feel when you're holding it. You're like,
Okay,
this is my gaming machine. This is mine.
My portable gaming.
Like I don't think a phone can do that or replicate that or an iPad, even though you could have a better experience theoretically via Xcloud.
Yeah.
Is Diablo Resurrected on Xcloud?
I don't know. Does it?
Well, I guess you can just do it via your.
I've
home
tested.
network,
I
right?
played
home network anyway.
Yeah, your
So,
home network.
True,
yeah,
true story. Yeah. Because of that, I went to play on my Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, and I pulled out my phone, went into the Xbox app, pulled right up, and I actually connected my Nintendo Switch controllers by Bluetooth to my phone.
Oh, nice.
And I was playing on that, although the controls are all wonky.
Yeah.
It's the other thing.
Yeah, because you're streaming it, right, via your Xbox to your phone.
No, the actual
No, 'cause the
triggers don't work on the.
No, I meant the game, right?
Yeah.
Like
I was
through
local.
home- yeah,
I was
so-
local Wi-Fi network.
Ah.
Because it's my phone.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, wonderful.
So it does work, and I played it, but I couldn't use my abilities because the triggers don't work on my phone. I don't know if that's an issue or what, but I think you're supposed to connect those and then turn the Switch controller sideways and just play
Yeah.
that.
Regardless,
Isn't that sad?
I do want to jump into a discussion. Speaking of Diablo 2, come join us over on Discord, everybody. If you haven't yet, we're there. We're there all week. We're hanging out with you guys, getting to know everybody. Come join us. Discord, XoneBros.com/Discord. Come over to the YouTube channel if you're here. Link is in the description below. If you're watching right now, link is in the description below. But we have a game club over there. Game club game of the month. We've been busy the last month, so we haven't actually had an official one, but it's back. And since it's October, since it's Halloween, and since we're loving this game, our game club game of the month for October is Diablo 2. Diablo.
It's a great game.
2.
really
So come join us.
fun.
Come hang out. Come talk about the game. Match up with people. You guys have been getting some big team co-op.
Yeah, we haven't even maxed it out yet.
So should we play our? Let's play some Diablo footage while we talk.
So
yeah.
I think that was one of those things where they were like, well, let's just put it in there. But it wasn't designed for it.
Oh, so does it break the game when you do that? to
It's
people?
definitely
What we wanna
it's
do-
definitely an experience.
So
yeah.
so say what happened. Explain what happened.
So you can go up to 8 players in Diablo, and I don't know if that's how it was in the original game. I think it was
Okay.
way back when. But anyway, right now you can go 8 players, and we went 6, so we still had 2 slots left. But it's one of those things where they're like, oh, let's just put it in there, but I don't think it was designed for that player count.
Yeah.
because it was chaos.
Why-
People were like, first of all, we were like just steamrolling everything.
Okay.
So I don't know how the difficulty should scale to.
It didn't though.
Well, no,
necessarily?
I'm sure it did, but it just can't stop you.
Okay.
You know, because there's so many people. And then as soon as something drops, everybody swarms it because it's not a separate loot table; it's a shared loot table.
you're fighting over
everybody's
the
like
loot?
Not
fighting over
everybody.
the melees.
See, here's the deal. I am respectful. I wait till all the garbage, like everybody sucks things up and then they
Yeah.
drop it back because they don't want it.
Yeah.
When I play multiplayer, I like to be, I don't like to be that guy. But when you're playing with those people, you get nothing.
That is hilarious.
It's funny. It's fun, but it's definitely. I don't think the game was necessarily designed with that amount of players in mind.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
funny.
fun. It's definitely fun. And we still had 2 open slots, and we were only at 6.
So it doesn't get as difficult then?
No, it gets harder. Basically, the enemies do double the damage and have double the life, essentially.
Yeah,
and
but-
there's more of them.
But with so many players, it really.
Well, and when you have because I play as a Necro, which is one
Yeah.
of my favorite classes, and when you have 13 skeletons running around, and then someone else is playing a druid with their own summoners, and then then you have other people like playing their like their characters that are meant to break the game single player. It's just you just
Crazy.
walk forward. What you know what I want to do? I want to get a max level necromancer 8 times just see how many skeletons can be on the screen at once.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be really cool. I'm really enjoying Diablo.
That's really
enjoying
fun.
Diablo 2. In fact, Spicy, you said this earlier. You said makes you want to check out Path of Exile. Fun fact, I have it downloaded.
Path of Exile.
I downloaded Diablo 3 as well, and I went back to Diablo 3 because you remember I was talking about the movement. Well, I think the movement seems to be fixed. I think Spicy was right. It was lag for sure. Well, not on the movement, but the hit, like counting the hits, the hit animation.
The servers have dialed down.
They've
a little
leveled out, which
Yeah.
makes me question why do we have to be on? You don't have to be. You can play offline, but anyway,
No,
it's
but-
really
no.
interesting.
You
So-
have to still be online. You can play an offline character.
Yeah.
But you have to still be online to play.
Yeah,
it.
it's really interesting. Anyways, I actually jumped into the Diablo 3, and it is amazing. No wonder hardcore Diablo fans are not fans of Diablo 3, because going from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3 is better technically in every way. That's it. I mean, only on a technical
okay.
standpoint. It misses, like you jump in and you're like, this just isn't as good. It misses something. It misses the feel. It misses the intensity. The intensity is definitely not there. That's for sure.
It's why 80s music is so much better than today's music.
The 90s.
Well, and the 90s and just previous music. It's because they polish the music today, the crap out of it, and it's now made by robots instead of musicians.
It's almost like because there was limitations, some more
it forced you to
limitations,
be more-
it forced
yeah.
you to be better.
Well, I'm just saying imperfections is what humanity is, and it's much more enjoyable to enjoy art that's not perfect.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why art
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. Well,
And-
so ready for this? Blizzard.
And music is made by robots now. Most
Yeah.
music.
Blizzard, if you're listening, I'm sure you are. Don't tweet at me. But if you're listening,
What? I think they're probably on lockdown for tweets for a while.
don't tweet at me.
They had a meeting.
And all you have to do for Diablo 4 for it to be a success is just take Diablo 2. You can change the story. Take all the mechanics and just move it into 4 and update the movement system. You could use Diablo 3's movement and technicality with all of the systems of Diablo 2, and you've got a masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, one thing that people talked about when Diablo 3 first came out, and I kind of just ignored, well, not ignored, but just kind of like, it doesn't bother me, you know, was the art style. There was a lot of complaints about the art style in Diablo 3, because Diablo 3, it's not World of Warcraft art style, but it leans more that direction.
It's more colorful, for sure.
Yeah, and if you look at Diablo, if you compare them side by side, Diablo 2 has a darker tone. You know what I mean? And I think that, and that's what people are getting at. Like, art style does matter.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So, and if you look at Diablo 4, it kind of has that darker toning.
Yes, let's go back.
From what we've seen very snippets and
let's
stuff of
go
gameplay.
Back.
But
Jordan, tell me about your cross-play, cross-progression rant that you had
if
a little earlier.
If Blizzard is listening, like I get it. You know, you want to make money.
Let go.
You want to make money.
Reserved.
I understand. Business is business. And I do like that there's cross progression, because I bought this game on my Switch because I had a necessity, and then I bought it on the PC because we have 2 cousins from Hawaii that want to play, and then I have it on the Xbox. So I bought the game 3 times.
They're making you buy it everywhere.
Yeah. Now, what is nice is, yes, I bought your game multiple times, and there's cross progression. And yes, I did say a long time ago, like, if Overwatch implemented cross progression, that would be nice, because that's another game that I bought 3 times on Xbox, PC, and Switch, you know, to play with different people that have different platforms. But I think it's because I've had Game Pass for so long. After having to buy a game,
You're spoiled.
It's just yes, crossplay is a good step and a great feature, but imagine if you not only had cross progression but crossplay, so then all I had to do is buy it once. And let's say I did buy it on the PC because I don't know, maybe I like the PC controls better, or I bought it on my Switch because I would have bought it on my Switch anyway.
You like those 720p graphics?
Yeah. Well, the thing is I may not have bought it on the PC, but I probably would have bought it on the Switch again anyway, because I can take the Switch with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
You know, so having that cross play as well as the cross progression, I mean, I think that's the way to do it. So, and my rant is, if you can do cross progression, you can do cross play.
Yeah. And
you're saying, well, wait a minute, Jordan, you're not a developer, you don't know, there's so many technicalities. Really, if you can't do cross progression, why can 2 different PCs with 100% different specs hook up to each other?
Well, because they put that cord.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what online gaming probably is like that we don't understand. You know, like when you watch like Mad Men, or like in the 50s, when they have the room of the ladies that are just like doing the phone call switchboards.
That's what it is.
There's probably
that's crossplay.
Honestly, that's probably how the internet works.
And then that's my example, right? Why is it that 2 different computers with 2 completely different specs, and let's say 2 different operating systems. Let's say one has Linux and one has Windows. That would both run Diablo, right? Because can't you force Linux to basically do whatever you want?
Yeah, you can. And then let's stick with Blizzard. A lot of Blizzard games are on Macs. And
there you go. You can do Mac. Yeah, I don't know if this one's on Mac, but anyway, they talk to each other. The thing is I'm just saying it's possible to make them talk to each other, especially if you already have cross progression. So the only reason you don't do it,
it's because people like you will buy the game everywhere.
Exactly. And then you'll
That's
make more
rude,
money.
Though.
Yeah.
Because now I have a 3x behind every monetary dollar value that of game that I want to.
Another reason to be on Xbox with Game Pass. Yes. Speaking of Game Pass, one of the rumors. Actually, before we jump into the rumor, Jordan, there's an event happening tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Halo.
Yep.
Tell people about it.
So tomorrow morning, for some of us, I guess.
If you're listening to this
at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
If you're listening to this in the next 12 hours.
At 10,
you got 12 hours to hop on.
At 10 a.m. Pacific time, we will be playing Halo Big Team Battle. We'll have a party. It'll just be an open party. As people jump in, we'll invite them into the game. We'll queue up. We'll play a few rounds. And, maybe an hour, maybe hour and a half. Just a little play. Get the feel for things. play a little big team battle, see if we can win. But yes, that's tomorrow. So you do have to be in the flight if you want to play. But yeah.
A lot of people are playing it right now. A lot of people in chat are playing it tonight. Andrew Courtney is playing it tonight.
Yeah, I played it earlier today.
Super Shocker's in there playing it. He posted over on Discord. Super cool, man.
It's really fun. Can I just say it's really fun?
Yeah.
I want to say that Big Team Battle is really, really fun. They played... So here's a question. I can't remember, but I don't think the game mode was in Halo, previous Halos. The Conquest mode or the ABC, capture ABCs. Did you...
It may have been, but I didn't really... I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. I never played it if it was.
So I played that earlier today, and I'll be honest, it is so much more fun than Battlefield, because Battlefield does that ABC, I don't know why, but it just in the Halo setting, that same game mode was extremely fun. The rules have changed a little bit, and I don't understand the rules. Like in Battlefield, it's like a ticket system where eventually your tickets disappear or you run.
It
out.
was in Halo 5.
It was in Halo 5. It was in Halo 5. Well, okay, because I couldn't remember if it was or not, but it is really. I really had a good time playing it with a lot of the new weapons, and I really like the map, the new coagulation map.
Yeah, the map is
where
really
they
fun.
set up lanes now. It's not so open. They have trees.
There's kind of a thing in the middle. You can't necessarily see down the whole map anymore.
Extremely fun. I was playing by myself in Big Team Battle with all my comrades.
The new 12v12 makes it a lot of fun, actually, because I think it used to be 8 versus 8.
Yeah,
and they added 4 more on each side.
Yeah, well, and you're split up into squads. You start out with like a squad, kind of 4. Yeah,
4. Yeah, 4 times
4.
4.
Yeah,
that's how it starts the map. Everyone's like cracking their knuckles, which I think is a really cool sequence. But I think it was really, really fun. I still think they need to figure out some of the aim assist problems that's going on. Which, by the way, I had to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on again, the dead zone for the controller, and then it finally started working again. So
really?
There's obviously issues with it still.
Yeah, no, mine
I should
was
put that in the
feedback section. Yeah.
Where's the forum?
No, yeah, mine was working. I felt like after the changes I made last week, it was working really well.
Brilliantly.
Yeah.
I'm really excited though. And I played probably my favorite capture the flag game I've ever played before in that same map, that new coagulation map. I don't know if I enjoy it so much because of the map or just because
it's new and exciting.
It's new and exciting. I've never really liked capture the flag that much, but it is really cool. They added a siren that goes off now when a flag gets taken, so everybody turns towards the
Oh, that's hilarious.
when somebody takes the flag.
That is
it's
cool.
Super
You just see the
cool.
entire field turn around.
Yeah, and so you can't be like caught off guard or like sneak it in. It's woo 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 woo, and everybody. It's really fun. I don't know why I like it so much, but we should play that tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it'll randomly put us through objective game. I think they're doing everything. I think it's Slayer objectives. So we'll probably go through the whole mix of domination, Slayer, and CTF.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Is anyone going to record it? Are we going to record it at all?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, yeah, record it.
I know. When you put it that way,
Yeah,
I would like to. I would like to watch it afterwards.
Hey, why not?
I'd like to watch it afterwards. Some big news this week. Some interesting news. First of all, today was the Tokyo Game Show. Xbox was able to show off some stuff there. If you missed it, Xcloud now is coming to Australia. Our Australians, we got a couple of Australians here in the crowd tonight. It's going to be in Australia, Brazil, Japan, and Mexico this week. So congratulations. Xcloud is moving there. A big one for Jordan the Man here. Scarlet Nexus officially on Game Pass as of today, which is huge.
Bought it a month ago, and now it's on Game Pass.
What is it that appeals to you about Scarlet Nexus? You always word it really well.
So it's like you're playing an anime.
Yeah,
bought it a month ago, and now it's on Game Pass.
That's how it works for Jordan Man.
It's just how it is. How it goes.
Back for Blood, they had a launch trailer. Talked a little bit about it. That's coming in a few weeks.
Yeah, this
2
month,
weeks?
which is going to be another exciting one because that one is day one Game Pass, and that's just going to be fun multiplayer that I think will ruin friendships.
Oh yeah,
because on the higher difficulties, there's friendly fire.
There are some people that I've sat back on my couch in my office in my man cave, thinking to myself, I will not be playing Back 4 Blood with that person
There's
or that
there's
person
there yeah
because of how they game. And I know I will get pissed at them, and I don't want to ruin friendships. There are a handful of people on my list.
that friendly fire is
One of them is my little brother because he would find it funny to shoot me particularly.
Well, yeah, Jono's funny.
I'm gonna be honest. If you're playing with me, either one of you, and you're running at me, and there's zombies behind you, I'm just shooting.
It's gonna take you
I'm
out.
just shooting. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's
Your
so-
misery.
It's gonna be one of those for the greater good moments.
Well, you got to get used to not strafing.
Oh, I know, yeah, because you're your own worst enemy. Because we would strafe just
And
naturally.
then we're shooting behind you, and you're strafing into our bullets, and you feel terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think it was we were playing with Ronan, and he was
You're strafing too much.
He was telling us one kneel and one stand up, and and then we actually got pretty good at maneuvering
took
our
like
weapon management. I guess would be.
It took 3 sessions to not suck at killing each other. It's hard. It's difficult.
That is funny. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game for sure. Starfield is getting 150,000 lines of Japanese dialogue, so they're making a big deal that this is the most expansive game as far as languages that Bethesda's ever done. It's available in more languages and more countries
Because they
than
got
ever
that
before.
they got that blank check.
I got that Microsoft money.
Interesting how this announcement comes after they got that.
Quite interesting, Bethesda. Quite interesting. And finally, Mighty Goose is also coming to Game Pass.
Oh, cool.
So there you go, if you've ever looked into that game. Now, one of the things that I really want to talk about this week that came up, and I thought we have to talk about this, Take-Two was doing an interview with Yahoo. And remember, the rumor is that Xbox Take-Two, that's the rumored acquisition.
Yeah.
And so Take-Two CEO is doing an interview with Yahoo and says in his discussion that Xbox Game Pass subscriber count is now at 30 million users. The last time that Xbox released their numbers, it was at 18 million.
So that would slipped it?
So that would represent a huge jump.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer in the same fireside chat with Yahoo, so it's like these interviews that they're just Yahoo's going through all the companies. In the same fireside chat with Yahoo, head of Xbox Phil Spencer said the subscriber count for Microsoft's gaming service was at 18 million, but that's not what he said. Spencer said it's at 18 million is the last public number that we've released. So very interesting. I do think it's at 30 million. That represents almost a double in a quarter.
Well, it's interesting that if the Take-Two CEO, who is in the industry and probably is like talking back channels with people,
Yeah.
possibly about an acquisition, which I still don't think is, but anyway, I mean, he would that.
He breached his NDA.
I tend more to believe that rumor over.
Oh yeah,
over, you know what I mean?
The rumor is a little tongue in cheek about Take-Two, mostly to troll people.
Yeah.
But I do think the 30 million subscriber count. I think that is correct. Actually, I don't. Now it'll come out that this is fake. I don't think that that's a slip. If you're slipping, you're slipping in the other direction if you're just guessing, right? And that's because that's such a big number. I would have never guessed if you asked me, well, where do you think their subscriber count is now? I would guess like 20 million, 21 million, maybe. A 3 million subscriber jump is huge, but they're almost doubled. 18 to 30, it's not quite.
Maybe
3
he's
million
just.
off, but
I mean, if I were a CEO, I would do this. Maybe he's just throwing it out there.
yeah.
Like she's like, they're 30 million.
30 million. What are they at? 30 million.
Next
He's just
question.
tucking loose, yeah.
Next question.
Just fly, shoot from the hip. Next question. Are we being acquired by Microsoft? Maybe. Next.
If a CEO did that of like one of these companies, the internet would blow up. It would. The internet would blow up.
It really would. But 30 million subscribers. What does that represent? Spicy. What does that?
That
what does
represents a
mean?
number.
Yeah, no, but what does that mean?
That
for,
represents
Actually,
30.
if you see my hand, see how I have 10 fingers?
Yeah.
Times that by 3
million.
million. It represents a number, David.
Well, Brian says,
next question.
Brian says, I think more and more people are just seeing how much of a great value it is. I think it's undeniable at this point. But what does it mean for the future of Game Pass and Xbox? I think it's a huge statement.
It means they're going to keep investing in it.
Yeah.
which is good for us. Which means
Great
we're gonna
for
get more
us.
games like more. Well, what I want to see. And I think what everybody wants to see is more third-party games, right? We know we're getting all the first-party Xbox stuff, but Back for Blood, that's a huge grab.
Yeah.
On Game Pass. Scarlet Nexus is a huge grab on Game Pass. Would have been an even bigger grab if it was a month ago. But what would be like? Can you imagine like Elden Ring on Game Pass? You know what I mean? Which, by the way, I think a lot of these games are gonna come to Game Pass. Look at Scarlet Nexus. It had no need to come to Game Pass. It sold well. It did well. And now it's here.
Well, it rejuvenates your
It does.
audience, your crowd, your game. What's funny is remember when this came out, like, oh, it's not sustainable was the criticism. Developers are going to lose money on this model, and all of that is just proven to be incorrect as at this point in time. On top of, it's just a fantastic value for us as gamers. There is a point. If you notice, Sony bought a studio this week. The studio. What's the studio name? The studio that does their remakes.
They're gonna. Blue Point.
Blue Point. Yeah.
Dude, they're gonna refer to this in 20 years or 50 years. They're gonna refer to this time as like the Wallet Wars.
The Great Condensing.
The
Great Consolidation.
No, I will admit Blue Point, but
That's a solid get by PlayStation.
Blue Point's a good studio because they did the Uncharted collection, which was really well done. They did the Demon Souls remake, which was really well done. I mean, they're a solid remake studio, and now that Sony owns them, maybe they can do some original IPs, which only helps Sony.
Yeah.
You know?
The other thing is you got to remember
a good get.
Take Two just had Red Dead Redemption. They had Grand Theft Auto on Game Pass. So I'm sure they know those numbers. Like those are not numbers. If you're trying to get game companies and games on your platform, you're sharing your numbers with them so that they look. Here's how many active players we have. Here's how many monthly, weekly, daily.
You know what's interesting is we've never heard a developer come out and say. And we've heard bits and pieces, but we've never heard a developer come out and say like, "Oh yeah, because of Game Pass, we got 10,000 downloads or what." You know, we've never gotten.
Well, it's all going to be.
They've said it's all. I know. Do they have to sign?
Oh, it's
something?
NDA.
You know
It's
what I mean?
NDA
Yeah,
for sure because every deal is going to be different. That's why.
Yeah.
And
So,
you don't
because
wanna-
I'd be curious at how much it does help developers, and
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I think again, and I know in comments people are going to call me a fanboy. So be it. I really think it's the future, and I think Microsoft Microsoft has this head start that if other gaming companies don't start doing this, moving in this direction, it might be inevitable that it's just too far gone to catch.
we'll see. And it's not.
Especially if Microsoft buys everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it's just Game Pass. I think it's all encompassed within Game Pass. But the fact that if, for example, we have cousins in Hawaii that enjoy playing games, they don't have the consoles, but they have computers. If they get Halo Infinite on the computer, which is in Game Pass, they can play with us on the console. You know what I mean? I think it's a huge umbrella of good things that comes with Game Pass.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just want to do a shout out real quick on our YouTube chat. Sergeant Reaper just actually became a member over on YouTube. Thank you, Sergeant Reaper. Wingman status. Everybody in chat, let's drop some Wingman statuses for Sergeant Reaper. For those of you listening to the show, you can come support the show over on YouTube by becoming a member, getting a sweet, supple loyalty badge. And thank you, Sergeant Reaper. You're the man. Drop those Wingman statuses, everybody.
Yeah, I think Microsoft's true achievement is the interconnectivity of their ecosystem that they're building.
No, that is true. Yeah, I agree with that. And being on, even PlayStation is moving more of their games onto PC, dabbling in that experiment. It's gonna be interesting.
You mean Microsoft's other console?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, their Xbox Windows.
Xbox Windows?
That's what they should call it. Actually, they should just redo
Windows.
it. Xbox Windows 11. Anyways, it's interesting. 30 million. I think it's real. I think that's not a slip up, but that might be seeing it through rosy glasses. This week we did ask the community, what is your game of the year so far for this year? What is your game of the year so far this year, Jordan?
Right now, like as of this moment,
As of
fully
this
released games. We're not talking about any betas, any technical tests.
Fully
released Resident Evil 8.
Ooh, when did that drop?
February, I believe.
February. Ooh, Resident Evil 8. That
That
is
was
a
a good
good
one.
one.
That was a good
That
one.
is a good one. Spicy, your game of the year so far that you've experienced, what
But we
is
still
it?
have some heavy hitters.
Because
coming.
there's
we
there's some
still
big
have
boys. I mean,
yeah.
we've got Halo, we've got Forza Horizon 5,
Battlefield,
and
and the new Call of Duty, right?
and many others that we're not listing.
Back for Blood, right? Tons of them. Yeah.
I have no idea. I really like Psychonauts a lot. I think Psychonauts is... It's hard to put a platformer as a game of the year game because I don't necessarily think that they... But I don't know.
It's good. No, it's good. It's in my running.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So Psychonauts, I think, is one of the best platformers. I haven't seen a platformer come out this good since Mario 64. That just, I think it's up to that level. And Mario 64 was, 15 years ago or however long it was ago. I don't know. I think it might be Psychonauts.
Psychonauts 2. I mean, that's
Up
a
to this
popular
point.
pick. Captain Obvious, Psychonauts 2 so far for me. He says that we did ask this over on our community tab on YouTube. We put out these polls every week, so come leave your opinions, follow us, subscribe so you get notified. And Psychonauts 2 came up a few times. Andrew Courtney says Psychonauts 2. It's Stu also says Psychonauts 2. So does Captain Obvious, also here in chat. Cooper says for him it's Ratchet and Clank and Deathloop he really likes, but he says he thinks Forza Horizon 5, based on what he's looking at, is going to be his. That's what's so hard is it seems like all these games are second half of the year. What's really interesting is like Andrew Coulinane responded and he said, I'm just realizing that I don't think I've played a single 2021 game yet this year. Flight Sim is the only one. Some people did say Flight Simulator, but that was multiple people saying, oh my goodness, I just realized I've not played a 2021 game. Is that just because we're in this transition to the new consoles this year, COVID?
I think
too many options.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but I think that's because we have a lot of battle royales out.
Oh yeah.
And I think people
Perpetual
just
games.
play Warzone, play Apex, perpetual games.
Yeah. You're into one or two games and you don't go out beyond that.
That could be. That's not obviously everyone,
Yeah.
but I think that's a big reason.
If you think about it, let's just take the shooter genre. I mean, there's probably, like you said, there's a lot of people that are in Warzone, Apex. You know what I mean? Those are your typical ones. This year's the first year in, I think, so this is the new Battlefield in 3 years, right? So we haven't had a Battlefield in 3 years. We haven't had a new Halo in 5 years, 6 years. I think 2015 was Halo 5.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I think there hasn't been a new big one to pull people away,
Yeah, Axat Bison says Psychonauts 2 and Death Doors were his. Also 12 minutes is on there.
I've yet to play 12 minutes.
Spicy?
Mark said, Mark, you like 12 minutes.
I play, I 100% of that game.
In 12 minutes?
Well, technically, sort of. I mean, I don't know if that's a game of the year game though. It's good. It's different. It's only technically like a 5-hour game.
Oh, I see.
Unless you're just stuck.
Is there a minimum time that should be considered for game of the year?
I don't know. Well, that's a good point. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, no, because how would you count a battle royale? The match could last 2 minutes. The match could match 30
but there's
minutes.
replayability.
12 minutes technically has
Here's
replay.
the thing, though. Like 12 minutes is a great concept. I don't think. I mean, I think it was a small team that developed it, so props to them. But it's not that. If I feel playing the game that it wasn't that hard to make.
Oh, really?
That sounds really stupid to say. And that's probably wrong. That's probably really rude to say that.
You just made a lot of enemies.
I know. But when you play it, it's like, I mean, it's basically takes place in 1.5 rooms, and all the animations still have kind of some issues, and the same things happen. Oh, I feel like if I was going to develop a game, that's probably on my level a little bit.
Sure, okay.
It's not
I see what
like
you're saying.
a Rockstar 7-year production of 1,000 employees cranking out every day, 12-hour days to make that game. I feel as though it's, I don't know. It's a great game. I liked it because it was different. It's basically the evolution of like an action adventure, not action adventure, like a point and click.
Sure.
Oh.
But it's a really simplified point and click because it all takes place in one room.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's a good game. I don't want to.
So multiple people like Andrew Cullinane, Michael Powell says Flight Simulator, very impressive. Does Flight Simulator count? I think it should count on the Xbox Series X that came out this year. I think it should count for game of the year running.
For Xbox?
I
For
really
Xbox.
don't know what
For
the
Xbox
standards
players.
are.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because it technically came out. When
We're
was
setting
it?
the standards right now.
Because
we will set the standards.
If you think about it, season 10 of Apex just came out this year, so season 10 could be game of the
who
year.
hosts,
You know what I mean?
who hosts the Game Awards?
Jeff Keighley. I think.
Screw Jeff Keighley. We're hosting the Game Awards.
Yeah.
We decide what they are. The parameters, Microsoft count, or Flight Simulator counts.
You know what? Let's
That's
do it by a
pretty
game
good.
of darts. Let's put like the games up on a dartboard and just thunk. That's second place. Thunk.
There was one game I saw in the comments that I actually forget about because I still need to go back and finish a few things, but the Ascent was really good.
Oh,
too.
Barbara Blake said
Yeah,
the Ascent is the
Ascent.
only 2021 game
Yeah.
Barbara Blake said he played this year, and so his pick is the Ascent, and that's his vote.
Yeah, no, the Ascent was really the Ascent.
That's actually a really good.
I give the Ascent credit. I do not like twin stick shooters.
Yeah, he really does.
I don't.
Ever since Halo.
Well, it's yeah, yeah. That's so. I'm not a fan of twins. They're just not for me.
and I think
You
he's
know
an
what I mean?
idiot for not liking him.
Yeah.
Jordan's rent. Jordan's rent. Now it's time for Jordan's rent.
No, they're just
twin
stick shooters. They're just not my cup of tea. But the Ascent.
stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm stupid.
Yeah. But the
But I was dropped on my head as a child.
The Ascent really did. I really did enjoy the Ascent. I think a lot of the enjoyment came out of the setting. I think is great.
Yeah.
The
I mean, it's a beautiful game. No one can
the
deny that.
RPG setting, the level up system, the gun, a lot of stuff other than the gameplay made me enjoy that game. And the gameplay was actually quite fun, given I did prefer to play it on the computer because of the mouse and keyboard control.
Yeah.
I feel my brain just can't compute twin stick shooting
So
controls.
hold up, Jordan. How many twin stick
Hold up.
shooters have you played?
Well, I played the Halo ones, which were terrible, and then that might have been it.
See,
Start
See,
naming.
here's the
Start
deal.
naming. Start. Wait, hold on. Start naming twin stick shooters.
Smash TV.
I don't know what that one is.
Smash TV was like one of the original twin stick shooters like, forever ago.
Let's start. N64
It was so
forward.
awesome.
On the
It
three.
was like on NES.
Yeah, let's start
hold
64
up.
forward.
That game is. I want to tell you something special about Smash TV.
Wait, how do you have a twin stick shooter on the NES?
Up D-pads and the
And
but
the two
Oh,
buttons?
no, I think it's Super Nintendo. I
So,
think
'cause
it
it had
played
the four buttons,
yeah, 4
okay.
buttons. I think it was Super Nintendo. What's so great about Smash TV is the developers didn't think anyone would beat it, so they didn't do an end level. They didn't
Actually,
finish the game.
Isn't
God, that's sad. No one's gonna beat it anyways.
isn't Hotline Miami a twin stick shooter?
Sort of,
Kind
yeah.
of,
That's like
yeah.
a skill-based twin stick shooter. I think it's its own.
It's like a hybrid. Yeah.
But what's so great about Smash TV, the whole setting of the game is you're going through this game show, and you're trying to get to the room with all like the ladies and the money, and they never built
the room.
built
The
it
room
'cause they
doesn't
thought
exist.
they thought that no one would ever
Now
get that far
that's-
in the game.
That is funny.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Did you ever play that?
Not that one.
That's probably one of my
what
favorites.
about what's the game that has? I'm thinking I can just picture the cover. It has like Spider-Man on the cover. That's a twin stick shooter, right?
No, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah,
No.
Ultimate Alliance.
No, that's
like another. If you would call
That's
it
like
a
a
hybrid.
Diablo
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
with
okay,
superheroes.
Yeah.
That's more. It's more like
see,
that.
Diablo wouldn't be a twin
Okay.
stick shooter. So I mean, I haven't played much, but that's my
Mr.
point.
Flip.
So what I'm saying is like every twin stick shooter I played because I didn't play the Halo ones. I've enjoyed.
Well, let me ask you this. Mr. Fripp asked this question right now in chat. He says, "Do remastered or remakes count? Do they count in Game of the Year? Because does Diablo 2 count? I think
don't know.
I think it should.
Someone in chat also mentions Mass Effect Trilogy. I just finished Mass Effect 1 and played the first hour of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
Wow.
for Mass Effect 1.
And
The story?
and Mass Effect 2.
Oh,
Wow.
massive. Yeah, massive.
So Mass Effect 1 really good. It felt like the next cuz it feels to me like Knights of the Old Republic.
Sure,
Just a little bit more action, but it felt like the next step and it felt like a classic BioWare game.
Yeah.
And it was really good. The decisions, the story, how you build your characters, and then you jump into Mass Effect 2. It takes all your decisions from the first one. And by the way, thank goodness for saves, but there were some very critical decisions that were made that were not meant to be made It got hard.
Well, so what's
really?
funny?
So
Jordan calls
very-
me up. I'm gonna be very non. I'm just gonna say no character names. That's how I'm not.
There's
gonna
a
spoil
person.
it. So Jordan's like, hey, so I just killed this person on accident. You know, is this person alive later? And I was like, I did not even know you could kill that person. Yes, that person is alive and is very
And I was
crucial
like,
in my
oh.
gameplay.
He's like, oh, damn it.
No, that
So I
was
had to
it.
go
Yeah,
back?
that's why I was
That's
like, oh
exactly
shoot.
what he did.
So I had to go back and So, but
What?
see, and that's what I miss about BioWare with
They lost
with the
their
new,
mojo.
Yeah, with Anthem and with
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age. It didn't have
Dragon
that.
Age didn't have those decision making as much, but it had this core mechanic that made Dragon Age great that they moved away from.
Mm-hmm.
Same with BioWare. Same with the other games from BioWare.
Yeah, so no, BioWare, Mass Effect 1 was really good. It very dated, even with its dated, because it is very dated, still really good. Mass Effect 2, I've played the first probably about 2 hours now.
Remastered
really
feels good.
well done.
Feels good.
Well, it feels more modern,
Yeah.
but I think
It's
that's
a
you.
step
You
up.
could tell. This is what I told Mark. You could definitely tell they got more money for the second one.
Okay, so to answer Mr. Fripp's question, do remastered or remakes count in a Game of the Year consideration?
I would say
See, I don't
remakes,
know.
definitely. They're different games.
Yeah.
They're altogether different
So
games
remakes, yeah.
with the same story.
So would Mass Effect... This is not a remake. It's a remaster.
it's a remastered. They basically took the end of the... It was a Mac version of the file. It said masseffect.dng, and they just changed the name to exe so you could run it on Windows. That's basically how that works. It's not really, but...
So you don't think that remasters should be considered for Game of the Year?
Let's just
Game
say
of the
there's an argument to be had, I guess.
Year? Okay.
I don't.
I think for remasters, it's got to have at least a 20-year time span. If it drops 20 years later, it could be considered Game of the Year as a remaster.
See, here's the deal. Like, it's the same Diablo. It's the same game. They just made it prettier, and even in today's standards, it's not that pretty.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true.
You know?
That's a good point.
Well,
That's a good
'cause
point.
see, if
it's a tricky
the-
question.
the
It's
thing
Mr.
is-
Fripp. That's a tricky question.
The thing is if you can count the remasters like Mass Effect 2, I've heard from multiple sources, including Mark, that it is the
including this guy.
that it is the best game BioWare has ever made. People are telling me the top 3 are KOTOR, Dragon Age Origins, and Mass Effect 2 in that order. Like a lot of people, a lot of people are saying it's the best game ever made. So and from the first 2 hours I've played, it's
that good.
It's running up.
It's
to
really
the, yeah,
that
it's
good.
really.
They
good.
were in their prime.
See, the thing is
do I need to
you
play- do
have
I need to play
yes,
one? 'Cause I
you
don't wanna
have
play
to play
one.
the first one because it gives meaning to the second one.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Damn it.
But you can just do what I did.
My wife is going out of town next weekend. I'm setting aside gameplay time.
What I did for number 1 is I did main story only, except for characters I cared about within the party, and I did their side quests, and then that was it. So I didn't do a ton of side quests. I didn't do probably didn't get the full experience, but I got the gist of the story.
I can
And,
tell you in 10 minutes what happens in Mass Effect 1, and you could probably just be fine playing Mass Effect 2.
See, I don't know though, because of the hours I've
attachment.
put into
Yeah, that's true.
specific
Like-
characters,
like
makes
Joker-
that first 5 minutes. Whoa,
Yeah. There are definitely characters that you really appreciate, and you learn to appreciate them. However, there are other characters in the next game that, Jordan, you're going to fall in love with too, and you're going to be like, I like this person more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have the time, David, play it. I just don't think he has the mentality to go through that game because he hates Valhalla because he's not in England. He knows that
here's
Mass
the-
Effect 2 is there. And
Oh, I see
so
what you're
you're
saying.
going to be like,
But
I
see-
just
Well, no,
want to
no,
get past
but if
this
it's
so I
a-
can play Mass Effect 2.
But if it's a very good story where your decisions actually matter,
Well, you
that's
do.
a different.
No, yeah.
That's a different scenario.
definitely
Well,
matter.
what's funny?
There's some big changes you can do.
Yes. What's funny is when we pulled up Mass Effect 2, it says, hey, if you haven't played Mass Effect 1, here's the list of important decisions. And it was a list of a good maybe 6 to 8-ish. I can't
I would
remember.
say,
actually.
yeah, a little bit more than
There's
that.
more than you thought. And I went through them. I'm like, okay, I remember when I did that. I remember when I did that. And then there's one where I'm like, I remember when I did that because we had to change that one. So that one was important. And then you were so it's those, and it's just the time. Like, for example,
Okay.
if you were to jump into Mass Effect 2, you don't have the same attachment to Commander Shepard as if you played him during Mass Effect 1.
very true.
You know what I mean? So it's just that's why it's hard when you get to like I would play through Mass Effect 1 even if you just bolt through the main storyline just to have that foundation of the base characters.
Okay. A game that dropped on Game Pass as well.
Avengers.
Yeah, Marvel Avengers. Now you guys both played Marvel Avengers. I am seeing like on Twitter, some friend of the show, TIE Fighter.
Oh, okay.
He's digging the game.
Okay.
He's really liking it. He's a Destiny guy, so that kind of style fits his forte. Should we jump into Marvel Avengers? Is it good? Is it good?
So I played through the full story, and I wouldn't necessarily call it end game, but I played through the full story and started that going to end game progression. And it was fun. I liked the gameplay loop. I wish there was a little bit more to it. But see, the thing is there's been a lot of patches since then. There's been a lot of additions since then. So it would be nice to go back.
New superheroes.
The thing is this is one of those games, and I think the same applies to Destiny. Although Destiny, you can have a lot of fun by yourself, but more fun with friends.
Fun with friends.
And no one played with me when I played this game.
So you're a little.
Did I not?
You're
We
a
were
little.
playing
No. I think you guys were like, yeah, I'll play with you, and
Then you were up by yourself, waiting for people to log on, and we were sleeping.
yeah,
You got stood up.
yeah.
It's a game stand up.
No, it was one of those ones.
Spicy, did you play Marvel Avengers?
Yeah, I played through the campaign.
Did you like it? Not like it? Where does it stand?
It was okay.
Yeah, I'm curious just because I do see a lot of hype around it on Twitter. I'm there all the time.
I didn't play any of the end game stuff, which they didn't let me play the end game at the time.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted to play.
Sure.
So I played through the campaign. They didn't let you until you, I guess, hit. Was it like a 2 weeks after the release type thing that they did that, Jordan? Do you remember?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. They just wouldn't let me play the end game
Yeah,
stuff.
Todd Mackey says it does come with all the DLC as well. See, and that's what I hear. The DLC is really good. That's where the
And there's been multiple patches and stuff. So I'm sure I'm sure jumping in, it's probably
maybe I'll play that with my wife.
Yeah, I think
Superhero game.
Yeah, you guys, it would be good.
Yeah.
I know. Here's the thing. The reason I didn't like it is I wanted to play as the characters I wanted to play as, and they many times in the game forced me to play a character I didn't want to play as.
I see.
So I had.
But once you get to end game, and
once you get to end game, then you can pick.
That.
Yeah, so that's. But you have to get to
appeal.
the end game. You have to. And this sounds. I mean, you have most games. You have to go through the story to get to end game, right? So.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, I thought it was just.
The gameplay was good. It was. I mean, I think it was Crystal Dynamics that did it.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, and it was a fun adventure game.
Just to wrap up the previous discussion before we move on to some questions here. But boy, Will and Mr. Fripp both think that I need to play Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, you probably do. The reason chat. The reason I'm actually saying for him to skip Mass Effect 1 is because he has played the Bloody Baron on The Witcher
many times.
8 times, 9 times.
And I just think to myself, it's too. But don't you think Mass Effect is more a linear story?
The first one.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I mean, it can be open, but you don't. You choose to go.
David, the strength and weakness of you
True.
is you want things in front of you now.
Give it to me now.
Correct. I mean, in our first session in Dungeons and Dragons, we played a couple months ago, you just looked up a list. You started a level 1 barbarian, and you looked up the list of the most overpowered thing that you could get for that character.
And we're down.
And
I didn't know. I've never played Dungeons and
I
Dragons.
want to find the
Mask of Flaming.
Mask of Flaming Death. That's what I want for next session.
Hey, question mark. What store can I go to?
Yeah, that was.
You have like 7 gold.
But I was serious.
I know.
I'm serious.
And then because you couldn't get that, you stopped coming.
I don't know if I can. I can have the mask. I can have the mask.
The reason
I don't want to play.
The reason, everybody, that I'm saying for him to skip it is because he will not like it, because Mass Effect it's an awesome game, but he sees the prize as Mass Effect 2.
It's true. That is true. That is
And
true.
you're gonna want to,
especially if
you're gonna be annoyed having to play
especially
through one.
if it feels dated. But if the story's really good, I think
good.
I could handle the datedness.
It's really good, but
We'll
you
see.
also did not like Valhalla, not because of any of the gameplay mechanics. It's because they put the tutorial in a place that you didn't like.
Well, they wore me out, man.
Because if they did not tell you that there was
England,
there was pillaging and all that
if
stuff.
they didn't tell me that the good time was to be had at England, I would have blown my mind.
See, that's the thing. You have the prize in front of you, Mass Effect 2.
But it's the same as Forza Horizon 3 or 4.
Yeah.
4.
Exactly.
Like
you're telling me I can't play Spring?
Here's Forza Horizon. This game thrives in multiplayer. Now here's this 5-hour tutorial that you cannot play with your friends.
So I am customized. Every person on this planet, I would say, yes, play through Mass Effect 1. But with David specifically, I know him. I think you can watch a 10-minute video, or I can just explain it because the story's really good, and just take our word that you would fall in love with Joker, you would fall in love with Shepard, you would fall in love with a lot of these characters.
Okay, I'll just enter Mass Effect 2 knowing I love these guys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
I love these guys.
Well, and the other thing with Mass Effect, I can confidently say it's definitely a product of its time.
Sure.
The first Mass Effect, because it's you can feel the datedness in it.
Yeah, I mean it was
mechanics.
OG 360. It was like year 1 or 2 of 360.
It was actually
whereas 2 was
I believe it was a 360 exclusive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember, and it was a very controversial game because you could woo characters in the game, and that was a no-no at the time.
Yeah.
Virtual love? What is this?
And what was
actually, I remember Jeff Keighley. We were just talking about him. I think he went on. I think it was like Fox News or one of the news stations, and he had a debate with.
About
and
like
it was
love?
it was actually an awesome debate.
It really was.
He was like, I remember watching. I watched this live.
He actually was awesome.
And he was like, well, wouldn't games be better if you added some sort of morality into it, where if you do decide to do these things, there are repercussions of doing that, which is what the game does.
Yeah.
What was
If
funny?
you woo that character, that one's off the table.
Well, what was funny is you can tell they didn't know what they were talking about because they said something, and he was like, his first statement was, "That's not true. Have you played the game?"
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And they were like, "No," and it's like, well, wait a minute, like it was pretty funny. Yeah,
that is funny.
I think that was back when he was with like what was it? Wasn't he? Was he with like G4 at the time? Remember that?
Maybe.
That was forever ago.
G4. Who's the Chris?
And I may be wrong, but
Paterno, is that his name? Chris? No, not Paterno. Anyways, he used to be on G4. He got really big. He had a YouTube channel. He's really into Star Wars. I followed his YouTube channel for a while. I feel so bad. He has like 1 million followers on there, and now he gets like 200 views a video with 1 million subs because he was on G4 and hitting it, and then it just you've got to be able to still stay relevant still, and he's just not relevant, and it's kind of when you watch it. No offense to him, I like him. That's why I still follow his channel, but he's no longer relevant, and you can see like desperately trying to remain relevant. Fame, it'll kill you.
That's fair.
It'll do that. It'll do that to you.
Yeah.
But let's take some questions. You can write in every single week over on YouTube, youtube.com/XoneBros. Just click the community tab. If you're a member, you get access to our mail sack. Kier Thompson writes in and says, "Hey bros, hope you are doing well. Have you guys tried Lemnis Gate yet?" I haven't. Has anyone tried Lemnis Gate?
I have not.
No, let's look up Lemnis Gate here. He says it's a turn-based strategy first-person shooter, and I was very intrigued by it. He says, I've been playing it, and I absolutely love it. It does sound familiar. Lemnis Gate. Looks like Warframe right now. We're watching it, everybody.
Oh, this is the one where it's time, right? You have 30 seconds to do something.
That's right. We talked about this.
Yeah, and then the other team has 30 seconds to do something.
That's right.
And then, it just goes over and over and over again. Yeah, it was a very interesting concept that I am curious how it works.
Is this on Game Pass? I don't think this is on Game Pass.
This is the Xbox channel.
Yeah.
That we're watching this on.
It might be on Game Pass. I think Kier Thompson's here in chat. Let us know if this is on Game Pass. I remember I'm thinking I've heard of this game before. We talked about this game at the time. Yeah, 30 seconds. So you've got to move.
It's something like that, right?
Yeah, and then it switches. So it's turn-based, first-person shooter or strategy. That's cool. That's a cool concept. I'll tell you what, the mechanics look really cool.
Like the time loop that you just did continuously goes over and over. It's really it looks really interesting.
This would stress me out. We're going up against other people, or is it just
No, it's PvP.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's PvP, first-person, turn-based strategy.
Because I'm going to want to be
Kier
like...
Thompson, it is on Game Pass.
Yeah, we'll have to give this one a try.
Oh, yeah, I want to try this. I remember talking about this, and it's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Ooh.
Because I'm gonna want to like be a perfectionist with my gameplay. So.
Yeah, Keir Thompson says 25 seconds per turn. So and see, well, the three of us we could strategize going in against other players. I'm going under. I'm going over. Okay, let's hit this. Let's hit this, guys. Oh, dang,
But
our
I think
turn's over.
I think it's 1v1,
Our
right?
turn's
And you
over.
control a different character each turn.
Oh,
Because so you notice, like in the trailer, he gets shot by a sniper one time. So on his next turn, he goes to a position and shoots that sniper before it takes out his original character.
Oh, that's so badass.
So think of it as really intense Minority Report.
With Apex buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
It's clearly Apex buildings right there. Really intense Minority Report. Dude, that's cool. It's like first person shooter chess. Oh, and then it shows.
It's like Time Cop.
It shows
This is
overhead
Time Cop.
view
Yeah.
of the battle as it happens. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it has 2v2 as well.
Oh yes, 2v2 is where it's at, dude.
But it really is. It's almost like action chess. Action 3-dimensional chess.
Chest.
Chest.
Action 3-dimensional chest.
Keir Thompson, dude, thanks for bringing that up. We're gonna check it out for sure. That looks cool.
Yeah, well, because what's really interesting about it is because all it is plays and counter plays. Who says that?
Hunger Games.
Yeah,
moves
and counter moves, because that's all it is, right? Because if you see this character do something and you see that one get shot, but see how his silhouette is still there for what he was doing?
Yeah.
So then you got to counter that so he can continue. Cool looking game.
If we were in the Hunger Games, what district would you be in?
The one with the nukes.
What was that, the one that got blown up?
1 or 2? Yeah, 1.
No, I thought they got blown up. 13.
Oh, 13?
No, I think 14, isn't it?
13.
13. Yeah, 13 was
I'd
like the
be
military.
District 16. People don't even know it exists.
Don't even know it exists. You're out in the
I'm the
woods.
ninja district.
I feel like I'd probably be...
With nukes.
I feel like I'd be the tree ones where they climb the trees and then shoot down at the people. Or do
The
they drop
loggers?
bombs? The loggers. I think I'd be
No
in
way,
that one.
you'd be the
Wasn't that
barbarian
Wasn't that
class.
Ruse? Wasn't that Ruse?
You're not a
No, I
ranged
thought
fighter.
she was. I
David.
thought she was like the grain or something.
Oh, maybe she was like the farmer.
Yeah, because they like pushed it down.
I wouldn't be District 12. Not the coal miner. I'm not a coal miner guy. It's just not my strength. Underground.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be the capital.
I mean, the capital has an interesting. No,
I'd be an alien race up in the sky
I don't feel like I
watching
get
over
along.
the planet.
I don't feel like I get along with the capital people. They kind of annoy me with their flamboyant dresses and weird hairdos.
Yeah.
Anyways, I watched that recently. It's really good on Blu-ray.
Oh.
Good for
I'm
you,
telling you, I'm
man.
all in on Blu-ray. It is superb, superior.
I'll have a palace in the sky and call it District 16.
Yeah. I would be the neighboring country that invades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Techie87 writes in and says, "Happy bros, hey bros, happy Friday." That's what
Happy
he-
bros.
He said, "Hey bros, happy Friday." Quick question for you guys tonight. With all the new games coming out in the next few months, how are you keeping busy so it seems like time flies? I've been working a lot to try and keep my mind off games that I can't wait to play. Love listening to you guys while I'm at work. Keeps my mind busy and kills the silence. Ooh, Techie87, thank you very much. Right now, I don't really have a choice. Is where I'm at. I'm just super swamped. I'm working sometimes till midnight. But yeah, I think using other games. I mean, right now, in all honesty, Diablo 2. If I did have free
time
time,
sink.
would be where my time is, anyways. And I think having those games, and prior to Diablo 2, it was Flight Simulator. I had a lot of fun in Flight Simulator. Prior to that, I was very much into, or not prior to it, but also at the same time, Psychonauts 2 I've been enjoying. So just using other games, I think, is a good way to pass the time.
Pass that time.
Pass the time. Anyone have anything to add? Take away?
No, it's actually incredibly stressful.
Waiting for your games?
No, well, because
you gotta-
you got to get the games done before those games come out.
You're a power gamer.
No, we got a heavy winter.
We really
Yeah, no,
do.
like you know that saying like winter is coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Xbox should use that in their
winter
advertising.
is coming.
Winter is
because
coming.
right now we have Diablo 2 that I really want to at least make it to hell mode and get a couple best in slot weapons.
Let me ask you this:
that-
when
Mark
ladders
and I
open
were-
up, seasons open up, will you be participating?
See, I don't know. I want to, and I may dabble in it, as well as dabbling into like some hardcore, like we were talking about.
I want to do. There's an achievement to get a 99 level character on hardcore.
Yeah, that's
That's what I'm going to be going for.
Hardcore is if you die,
Die,
you
you're
lose
done.
Your
Your
Yeah.
character,
So-
and there's a lot of accidents.
Well,
that
I was
happen.
telling Mark I kind of almost want to 100% this game for the like achievement wise. What would we call platinuming? Is what Sony calls it, right?
Yeah.
Getting all the achievements, and I would do that one last
That's
because
a tough
that's the
one.
one that would uninstall your game. Because
You
can
just
you
have
imagine?
to go extra slow.
Can you imagine getting to like level 88?
And then you die.
And then you
so
die.
how does it handle
Well,
your
make
how does it handle
one
your
shot.
save file?
It's in a different like section of the menu. So.
No, so
No, so because if you die, just load up your game.
no, there's so
It knows when
it's
you're dead.
Dead. I mean, have you ever? I don't know how to put this. Death is death. I don't know how to.
It literally
explain this.
ends the game for you.
No,
It
no,
doesn't
but there's
allow
a-
you to
no,
save.
no, but
It
there's
re-
a save
it refor-
file.
it formats your hard drive.
Formats your hard drive. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So you can't save. You can't go back to
No,
your save
it's
game?
always a save there if you're alive.
But once you die, it
It's-
erases it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you can still have your. So in the game, have you been into your stash? Have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
checked that
Yeah, yeah.
some things are shared?
Yeah.
So you can't. All your characters on the left side, which is all your normal characters, can share willy nilly. But as soon as you start a new game over there, it'll say that character is a hardcore character, and you cannot transfer from normal to hardcore. Although if you have multiple hardcore, you can keep
Oh, you go
gear
hardcore to hardcore.
there. But once you're dead, the character is gone.
That is cool.
yeah.
I'm gonna restart my game.
And
in
there's
hardcore
an
mode.
achievement to reach level 99 in hardcore mode.
You just
Which
have to
is
go super
what?
slow and hire a lot of people to come with you every time on single
You
player.
can
that's
only
gonna be-
hire one person,
No.
Hire overpowered people.
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's gonna be. Well, no, what I'm saying is this winter's gonna be hard because I want to do all that stuff in Diablo. We have Back for Blood at the end of this month. We have
This game now.
Battlefield.
Lemnis Gate.
Yeah, Lemnis Gate, Battlefield, Halo at the end of the year. New World just came out on the PC. And for those that don't remember,
World.
the new Final Fantasy expansion is coming out for the PC as well in November. So it's an incredibly stressful time of year for me.
Wait, what did you say about Final Fantasy?
The new Final Fantasy expansion
What
is
did you
coming
just say
out
to
in
me?
November. yeah. You
That's
like,
so it's coming
no,
out.
no, it's an expansion to the current
that
MMO.
sounded like you got offended.
Yeah, I know you.
Hey, wait, what did you just
you
say?
Well, I thought he said to Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, you're disappointed.
That-
Oh no, Final Fantasy 14 online.
Okay,
You're
I was
disappointed.
like, it's coming out.
No, to be honest, I actually don't think it's ever coming out.
I'm coming
I don't-
out.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
don't
be on
either.
disc 1 forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think they were like, well, we were gonna make all three, but why don't we just make a new game instead?
Yeah,
So
that's very sad.
no, it's gonna be. It's just there's a lot of stuff.
Tell me.
man.
Hey, great question, Tech87. Thank you very much. Tell me about New World. I've seen a lot of people really liking it. I've seen people talking about how what it does really well and unique, but there's still some things that it needs to tweak in order to be considered as good as a Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft right now. However, I've seen multiple people say it has launched better and more ahead of those games when they were at this stage. Do you agree with that assessment? Disagree with that
Well,
assessment? What are your thoughts?
I think that's because they have the power of Amazon servers behind them
yeah.
and money.
Well, I mean, look, the world looks cool. This is the first.
Well, I mean, look at Twitch.
This is
They have the power of Amazon money too, and it's just
Yeah,
in shambles.
this is the new.
Yeah, but their connection is good now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're
That's fair.
This is
So-
the new world. It looks beautiful. What do you? And let me preface it also with this question: would I like this game? That's ultimately. What
I think
wanna know.
everybody would like this game. Yeah, I think
Ultimately,
both
it's about me.
It's about me. Yeah,
I think a lot of people would like this game. I think both you and Mark would really dive deep into the crafting system. So the best way I can explain this game, and this is very simplified. There's a lot you can do in the game, but this game is if you took Guild Wars 2
I like Guild
and
Wars too.
RuneScape
Never played RuneScape.
and put them together. Because I want you to think of like a Guild Wars 2 weapon progression, but a little
Okay.
bit more fleshed out because there's actual skill trees per weapons now.
Okay.
So, for example, if you want to play a tank, so you don't choose class the tank, the healer. There is the Trinity, right?
Yeah.
Which
I
I
do have it.
which I approve of.
But the
yes.
Trinity
Yeah.
is based on
You
weapons.
You can
Trinity, everybody is tank healer DPS.
You can maybe the low level dungeons you can probably squeeze by with getting all DPS, but the higher levels no way. You have to have a tank and a healer.
You get dungeons right away.
No, you have to earn them.
Oh no,
So
See how he said that like he was better than you?
I'm out. I'm out.
Like how he said that was totally like you have to earn it, and then he like shifted in his chair like.
no, you have to reach them. I guess,
Now, is it
almost.
the classic grind?
There's gonna
Level
be a
grind?
grind. I don't know about. I mean, I'm still early levels.
Because
leveling feels good.
can I
but the
choose to
thing
level through crafting?
Yes. So every time you let's take mining for example.
Sure.
Every time you level up because there's a subset of skills and there's a lot. So mining skill. Let's say you're level 10.
Yeah.
Right. Your mining's level 1. You start mining. You go from level 1 mining to level 2 mining. It gives you 50 overall experience. That adds to your level 10. Now you're 10 and 10 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Now as you get higher levels, that experience isn't as much because it's more and more experience every level. But yes, you can level by doing your crafting skills and gathering skills. That's actually what I really like about this game and what I'm addicted to right now. Our younger brother spent an hour and a half chopping down trees last night because he had to get his wood cutting skill up because he wanted to build this weapon.
So, how does the world? Okay, here's a question: can you play this by yourself?
Yes, you can.
But okay, you said that in a way that makes me think, no, you can't.
That he's better than you?
Yeah, that no, you need to.
You
play.
can play
It's
the game by
true
yourself.
social.
You can play the game by yourself, but you are going to be forced to join a faction at one point, and contributing and helping out with your faction is going to. It's not going to force you to play with other people, but it's going to push you with other people.
So that's
that you're
cool.
Then
So it's
gonna learn and
encouraging
meet.
MMO.
Yes.
MMO mechanics, which is cool, which is something that I think is missing from like Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online does not
And World of Warcraft.
does not
to be honest with you.
push you into
No,
social situations.
What I think the reason is I haven't gotten to the first dungeon yet, but I'm pretty positive there's no like group finder game in this game.
Sure.
Which I've been like back and forth on them throughout the years. Like I wanted Destiny raids to have matchmaking, and I wanted such and such to have But when you add that matchmaking element into games like this, I have been convinced.
Huge ass
over
rabbit.
Yeah, I have. When you we're watching gameplay of New World right now, everybody. So. But anyway, when you add those matchmaking elements into games like this, like a dungeon finder or raid finder, it does. I have been convinced over the years that it does take away from the MMO. Because it takes away socializing in the MMO, right? There's a difference in feel and experience of getting a group together and walking over to the dungeon and jumping in and learning the dungeon with that group as opposed to clicking a button and waiting for the dungeon to pop.
Pop it.
So,
I didn't want to interrupt him because I'm going to take us on a tangent here.
Take us on a tangent.
Speaking of Halo Infinity, and you just said the rabbit. I was playing earlier today, and there was this big old gopher that ran across in front of me, and it totally stopped in the middle of all this chaos.
Bullets are flying.
And bullets
past you,
are flying,
lasers.
and it's a cute little gopher. And like most games, they don't let you kill animals, and so
Sure.
for science, I wanted to test to see if you can. So I was just like, I wouldn't do this in real life. But I was just like, okay. And I shot it, and it exploded in blood. And I'm like, all right, the
That's
game
funny.
has life, it has live
So-
animals.
That is funny. So overall,
Small game.
No, overall, it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of new people can get into it because it doesn't have a million skills like some of the other MMOs out there. You have 3 skills on your hotbar. That's all you can have. It's more of an action combat system. Each weapon has a skill tree, but even the skill trees aren't insanely complicated, so it's very easy to get a build going. I do like the fact, and see, this is what Final Fantasy does well. I do like the fact that you can switch between, all right, I'll heal this one, and all you do is switch weapons.
Yeah.
And then kind of maybe spec out to be a healer. In Final Fantasy, you actually have to switch classes and level up the classes, whereas in this, you just have to level up the weapon to be able to do it. But it's a lot of fun. I find this game incredibly relaxing. It's a very relaxing MMO.
I mean, it looks good. The world looks really cool.
Yeah, I think Mark might lose a lot of time in it because if you're going for those crafting skills, there's a lot. You see all those trees out there in the wilderness? Those are all cuttable. So
really?
If you want to level up and they actually fall down too.
Do they fall down, and then like 3 minutes later, do they just magically appear again, phase in?
I've never seen one. I know they do reappear. I don't know how they do it because I've never seen one reappear.
Oh, cool.
It's cool.
They do reappear, but I've never seen it happen.
Do you
unless I come
think
back.
so? The way this game looks, it looks like it could be on console really easily. How about the Xbox Series X? Chances we get this on the Xbox Series X. I mean, it's breaking all kinds of records at the moment.
Yeah.
So it would break more records.
I mean,
if it
to be
was on the
honest,
Series X.
Look, I used to think like certain games were for PC. I used to think you could only be good at a shooter on mouse and keyboard, or so you know what I mean. I used to think a lot of things, and the world has proven me wrong lately.
You have evolved
with a lot of different things.
You have evolved.
Yes, I think if the effort is put in, they can make a nice controller scheme for this game. Final Fantasy does it, and theirs isn't even the best controller scheme. I think it can be improved, but they do it to make it work.
Bring it to the Series X. It looks cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool.
No, very, very cool game.
Let's leave with one more question. Cooper writes in from over in Australia. He says, Xcloud just launched in Australia today. I jumped onto the Xcloud via PC and played some Hades.
Ooh.
What games have you enjoyed to play via Xcloud, and how much have you utilized it? I think Jordan's utilized. Well, here's the thing. I'm about to utilize it because freaking Nintendo Switch. We talked about this beginning of the show. I'm about to utilize it a lot, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to go get an iPad to play on the best screen that I can possibly get. Plus,
Good for you.
Plus, I need an excuse to spend money. And just, you ever get that itch? Like, I need to
Oh,
buy something.
yeah. And then a week later, you get the itch to not even buy a hamburger because you're like, oh, my gosh, I don't want to spend money because I just spent
Why
so
don't
much
I
money.
waste my money on that thing?
Yeah, I know.
So I've not used... Jordan, I think you've used it the most out of us, probably.
Yeah, I used it more often, or I used it more early on, and it's probably because of that why I don't use it as often now.
Well, early on this.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, I haven't jumped on it in probably like a month or so, maybe even 2 months. But every time I played some Gears of War. I actually did play a lot of Forza with it, but I always felt like I had, like, you can almost feel it. It's like that.
It's a mental block
that
for you?
millisecond input lag.
It is.
You know what I mean? There's just like and
Yeah, I agree. I was playing it yesterday on Diablo, and it was...
it's
noticeable.
not
little.
terrible, but it's there.
It's just a little bit.
And when I play games, I not only demand perfection from myself, I demand perfection from my controls.
From
and
the
my
games,
game.
yeah.
From his input devices.
From my input devices. No, it's just... I mean, I know there's technically a delay on the wireless, right? It's like point something millisecond, right? But it's not noticeable. I feel like they're just like you said, it's there. You can feel something odd.
Yeah.
And that might be because we're coming straight from this to that. I mean, I'm sure if we get used to it, you would compensate for that.
Can't.
No.
Can't
There you go. Well, there's the answer.
Cooper, great question. Thank you very much for writing in. We got a super chat, actually, from Kier Thompson. He writes in and says, super chat for a super show. I had to rewind a bit because I'm at work, so not live anymore. But I agree with Jordan the Man with regards to Resident Evil 8 as game of the year. Best game I've played
so
on the
far,
Series
it's
X
really
so
good.
far. I mean, it does start out really intense.
When we do
and
our
really
game
well.
of the year choices this year, I think we should up it to like our top 4 or 5 because I feel like there's a lot rotating in my head right now.
Okay.
Well, you're just thinking about that tall lady. The creepy tall lady that you're
The busty
attracted
lady-
to,
the
but
busty
at
woman?
the same time, it freaks you out that you are.
Lady have you seen the mods they've done to her? Whoa. On the PC, wow. Like they had to know that was coming.
Kier Thompson. Kier Thompson, thank you very much for the super chat, brother. Last but not least, Blake Densley writes in before we get out of here.
I know that guy.
He's homesick at the moment. Mr. Blake Densley, we hope you feel better.
I like how in parentheses he put not COVID.
Yeah, not COVID.
You got to be specific.
It's just a fluke. Just a fluke.
Hey.
No, yeah.
He wants to know, what is your game to go to play when you're too sick to work?
Right now, I would
I
say
know it-
Diablo 2 with an audiobook.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
see
because
that.
once you beat it the first time, you really don't have to listen to it.
You don't
Yeah.
have to listen to
And when
anything.
you're a necromancer, you don't even have to swing your axe.
Well,
You just walk around.
Really funny story. So we were playing. Was it last night? I think it was last night. And I was like, Mark, this is great. I literally just have to hold down the X button. And then Mark was like, oh yeah, I just walk around.
I don't even have to press buttons. Right now, Forza is one of the most relaxing games to play, just listen to music, to chill out.
My recommendation, I have been sick lately, and I played this game, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Just fun to fly through the sky.
What I would say to Blake is I actually know he's playing through the Arkham series right now. I would just
Batman.
continue on with that. This is the perfect time to get those single players out of the way.
Knock them out. Oh, I actually
Get rid of
jumped
those
into-
Riddler.
I took the Shadow of
Those
Mordor.
Enigma.
Fun fact, I jumped into Shadow Mordor, everybody.
Yeah.
After watching Lord of the Rings, I thought, I need to play some Lord of the Rings game. Dude, the fighting in that game is still good.
And
It's
then the
really
Nemesis
good.
system.
Oh, and the Nemesis system, it throws it at you right away.
Honestly, I think the best part of Diablo 3 was their Nemesis system, where I loved how it said this person killed Jord the man.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the monster
that's cool.
comes into your world.
Yeah,
And you
into your
get
world,
angry.
yeah,
You're
that
like,
is
don't
cool.
you
And it
hurt
goes,
my
You son of a...
and you hear the horns. Wah,
I
wah.
am gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that
they
is
drop
cool.
a lot of good
That
loot.
is
I thought
cool.
that was cool. But
It'll
I,
be interesting to see if they can get Diablo 4 to its like, because it's such a good. I think that might be one of my new favorite genres.
Dungeon crawlers?
Dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, they're
it's
good.
so fun.
yeah, what they need to do is not make the game easy.
Yeah, I agree. What makes Diablo 2 so good is that I have to choose. I don't know if I want to pick this up or not. In Diablo 3, it's there, but it's not there in the same way.
Well, I will say this: Diablo 2's loot system is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
The way you progress your loot, how the gems work, and the runestones
And
work,
making rune words.
and how it's almost like it's just perfect. Like you feel like you're trying for certain loot, but you do feel like you're upgrading. You know, like their loot system is really good.
No, it is.
And their progression system of that loot with the gems and runes is really good.
Also, ready for this? Maybe a controversial statement, maybe not. I like not having separate loot tables. I think it adds to your experience. You want to talk about LFGs?
Ending friendships?
LFGs, like the
It's
forced
like friendly fire.
the forced social aspect of the game. I think having separate loot tables like Diablo 3 has really takes away from the communication. It takes away from... It just takes away enough. It really takes away from the reality of the game, too.
Well, it's kind of interesting how games are going because, like, when Diablo came out, I remember thinking, like, "Oh, that's nice," or like, "There's a lot of conveniences."
Yeah.
But it's almost like games are almost reversing, and a lot of players don't want those conveniences anymore.
Yeah, I actually, ready for this? I don't want separate loot tables.
That's fair.
I like being able to screw Mark over because he's not right next to me, and he
does it every day.
I can take his.
This is how he lives his life.
That is a big ass turkey too. I love that there's just wild animals in this
Oh,
game.
we turned that off.
Oh,
They
sorry,
got to
everybody.
that.
We're watching.
We stopped
New
talking
Worlds.
about
New
World
Worlds
War.
still going.
What's funny is one time, so they have shrines in Diablo 2, and I took an experience shrine and I had it above my head, and one time we were running down a dungeon, and there was another experience shrine, and I went up to it and pressed A, but it wouldn't let me take it because I already had one, and I just kind of like walked away like nothing happened, and then Mark was like, "Did you just try and take that experience shrine again?"
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Jordan already has one, and I was watching his angle change directions to go for that.
He's just like
And so-
casually.
So, I had to like, because I was to get a drink, I had to grab my controller and take it real quick,
like-
and,
and you just
then he
see
just
eyes.
walked away, and I'm like,
watching him on your TV, like.
and I said, that's how I said
That
it.
jerk is going for the experience shrine.
So that's what I told him. I'm like, Jordan, did you just seriously try to take the experience shrine when you already had an experience above you?
Then I'm just, I didn't know. Sorry.
No. Is like you answer with a question?
I noticed it was there.
He just started laughing because it's exactly what he was doing.
See, but I really do think that it
No, it
adds
does.
to the feeling of the game.
It does. I agree.
There are conveniences that were there, like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had separate loot tables? But I really actually think the better game mechanic is everybody shares the loot table.
Well, I think
Makes the items have more value.
I've been saying this for years, and maybe this is old man spicy going to come out right
here we
now.
go.
Listen up, you young
Let me hear
whippersnappers.
your old man.
Games used to be hard. Games also used to be fun. I think they're related to each other.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think easy games do not have the reward, the endorphin release that you get, the feeling of accomplishment. I finally I finally did it. When everything is just handed to you, there's no enjoyment in as far as how I play. And Diablo 3, when you can just turn off I felt like it was really easy.
Well, even teleporting in Diablo 3, there was no time that I'm ever in Diablo 3 because I jumped it because I wanted to do a direct comparison.
Yeah.
There's no time that I'm like, I need to get back to town, and I'm worried about that. No time. There's multiple ways to portal back, not a big issue.
Yeah, you
but
can
in
always portal
Diablo,
on your friends.
But in Diablo 2, when a town scroll drops, I am like, yes.
Just wait till you're rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you just pop. Yeah. What I tend to do is because portals are super, they're actually relatively cheap. I just get 20 of them, and then when I pick up items, I portal back, drop it on the floor, then go back in.
That's
And then
hilarious.
my home base is just covered in blue and gold
That
magic
is
items.
hilarious.
See, you can't do that in multiplayer.
Because someone
Because
will
then
pick
someone
it
will
up.
go back and be like, hey, what's this thing?
Yeah, this is great. Not with the people we play with. It'll be gone.
Guys, Blake, great question. Thank you very much for writing in. Everybody, thank you for listening this week. Thank you for joining us. We love hanging out with you inside your ear holes every single week. It's a good time for us. Hopefully, it's a good time for you. Come join us over on YouTube. We do have series that we're working on there that should drop soon. We've just been super busy with them, but we have them backlogged now, so it'll be good. It'll be good. It's a series you'll love. The series you'll love. Have a great week, everybody. Join us
Tomorrow in 13
Yeah.
hours.
I'm really excited to hear
10
how it
a.m.
goes.
Pacific time.
Yeah. Have a
for
good
some
one.
big team battle. It'll be awesome.
Big team. Bye-bye, guys.